Hello all and welcome to a new video. Today's video is going to be going over Heal Quick Herald with a Scepter. This is a very flexible build and can be used in any content other than fractals. Let's get started. First off, we're going to go over the healing, the tanking, the boons it can provide, and a few quick notes, CC, and all that. First off, we're going to go over the build. That is very important. Build, we're going to be primarily using Herald and Salvation, and then Corruption, Invocation, or Retribution. Reason why we're going to be changing between those three is depending on personal preference. My bad. Few quick traits to note. First trait we're going to note is in the Salvation trait line. Words of Censure. Words of Censure heals each time you CC an enemy. So that either with blinding, immobilize, or crowd control effects. Another one is Shared Empowerment in the Herald trait line. This, each time you provide a boon, you will provide might to nearby allies. Very nice to do. Sorry, my cat just hit the mic. Try and get her out of the way. Next off. In the Retribution trait line, if you're taking it, Versed in Stone. When you hit 50%, you're going to grant 50% damage reduction to nearby allies every 45 seconds. Has an internal cooldown. Keep that in mind. And one more thing. In the Retribution trait line, there's Planar Protection. This will allow you to have the infinite bubble trick. I'll go over that more in the notes section. Another trait to note is in the Invocation trait line. Charged Mist. If you're using this trait line, you're going to want to use Charged Mist. Charged Mist basically allows you, once you get below 10% on energy, you can swap legends and get to 75 instead of staying at 50. Can be very nice if you're just learning to build. Next off, let's go to the healing it can provide. It can provide barrier now with Scepter. Scepter 3, not Scepter 3, the third auto attack in the chain on Scepter provides barrier. Scepter 2, you're going to want to use off cooldown to provide barrier on enemy or ally. Scepter 3, Otherworldly Bond, it's going to be ally targeted. That will grant might, fury, and barrier at the end if you decide to use it. Relic of the Flock if you're using that. The different relics you can use, I'm just going to go over that right now, is Relic of the Flock, Relic of the Monk, or Relic of Drainer. Those are the one I suggest doing. First healing, you got Natural Harmony Inventory. Staff 2 and 4. Never swap the staff unless you need healing. That's one thing you really need to note. When your sigils, I think it's called Sigil of Life. I'll post it on the screen here. But your main thing is just keeping people topped. So, because there's a lot of traits in the game that has, like, do X more damage during, while you have X amount of health. So you want to make sure you keep people up so they can do more damage due to those traits. Barrier is really nice for keeping people up. Regeneration from Facet of Light, that's a healing skill in Glint. Just keeping that pulsing is really nice. Staff autos in the third chain, but keep in mind you're not going to be staying on staff. Water Sigil, when you crit hit, and Shield 4 and Shield 5. Tanking tools. You got 2 blocks. You got Staff 3 and Shield 5. Warding Whiff and Crystal Hibernation. Very good trait, not traits, very good skills for when you come to tanking. It is very, very nice. Keep in mind, Shield 5 is also a pulsing massive heal. So use that if you need to. A few other tools. Using the consume of faceted light is very nice due to it converts all damage into healing. So use that when you need to. I don't suggest using it off cooldown due to you will not need to use it off cooldown. The corruption trait line and the retribution trait line has a lot of traits that blows damage, so you can use that if you need to. The bottom Herald trait in the middle called Hardening Persistence. Hardening Persistence lowers your damage taken by 1.5% each upkeep pip. So if you had 10 upkeep pips, that would be, sorry, doing math in my head, that is very difficult. It'd be sometime around 15%, I want to say. So keep that in mind if you need to. Boons. You provide nearly every single boon in the game. But some of them not consistently. Those being Vigor, Aegis, and Resistance. I'll go over those in the end. Might. You get it via shared empowerment, Facet of Strength, Otherworldly Bond when on an ally, and Scepter 2, the second Scepter autos. That grants 2 stacks of Might. Fury is Otherworldly Bond when on an ally, you pulse it, and then Facet of Darkness. Protection, you got the Ventari Bowl when first activating it, when Empowered buff is on. How you get Empowered buff is either when you spawn the tablet, or if you use it F2. Facet of Chaos pulses it, and then Invocation trait line via the Spirit Burn trait when swapping into Glint. Which is Dragon Stance. Regeneration, Facet of Light pulses it. Natural Harmony will give it each time you hit it. If traded, that is the top last trait in oh no, not top last, it's the Searing Rejuvenation trait. So that is very nice to use. When using Spirit Burn, swapping into Ventari in the Invocation trait line. And then for Swiftness, you got Facet of Element, Ventari Bubble when first activating it, if traded. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Vigor, you give it by Purifying Essence, if traded by the same trait as before. Just hitting it. I got those two reversed. Natural Harmony grants Vigor, and then the other trait grant, or other skill, Purifying Essence gives regen. Sorry for the mess up. Stab. There's 2 ways you can give Stab. One, either giving up your Healing Legend, or by using your Healing Legend and using your Elite skill in it when empowered. When it's empowered, you can use Energy Expulsion to hit it, and it will grant 3 stacks of barrier to nearby allies. Very nice to use if you need, not barrier, stab. My bad with the confusion again. 3 stacks of stab to nearby allies. Inspiring Reinforcements in the Dwarf stance. That will give pulsing, not barrier, pulsing stab to everyone on the road every few seconds. So if you need like 10-man stab, you can bring that instead of your healing one. Aegis being Shield 4, Envoy of Exuberance, and then Quickness, you have to be draining energy. reason why you need to be draining energy is to upkeep quickness, and that is via elevated compassion. Elevated compassion heals allies when you grant boons to them, and grant boons to allies when your upkeep is either equal or higher to the threshold. So 6 or less, or not less, 6 or more. So you need to be draining energy to give out quickness. And then resistance is via energy expulsion if traded with the same trait I mentioned before. Don't use energy expulsion off cooldown just because of you're going to be energy deprived so much, so don't do it. A few notes and tips. Use minstrels if you're tanking, use harriers if you're not. You could throw a little bit of clerics in there if you want. Always finish auto attacks. Does not matter what you're on. Finish your auto attack because the third auto attack is always big. It either heals or barrier. Very big. Stay on scepter and staff unless you need more heals and cleanses. Staff 4 is a cleanse in a blast finisher. So if you need to cleanse, you can use your Ventari bubble. You can use purifying essence on it. And also use staff and staff 4 on it in the Ventari bubble to blast that light field for area cleanse. Very nice if you need to. Hit Scepter 2 off cooldown. Scepter 2 is a barrier. It doesn't matter if you put it on an ally or enemy. It was at the end put barrier. If you hit it again while it's in its cast, it will stop the thing right there and grant barrier based on that time that it was. So say it was max, it would give like 1,000 barrier. But if it's not max, it would give like 200, for example. But it goes up every second. So make sure you don't hit it once, let it go on cooldown. Hit it again, let it go on cooldown. Just go with the flow. Only use Scepter 3 on allies unless you need CC. This is where you see in the background, you see gameplay video of me playing Heal Herald build. You see a personal target. That is what I suggest using for this build, is using a personal target so you can hit it. Like mine is set personal target V and go to my personal target is C. I hit C after I have my personal target set. It's usually on the ally that I know will be with the group. I hit it, and it automatically sets my target to the ally. And I hit Scepter 3. If you're not tanking, you can use Scepter 3 again once it finishes a cast for a big barrier burst. If you're not tanking, do not do it. It is a big no, because you're going to be rotating the boss where it's not great. When upkeeping skills in Glint, every single skill is an upkeep. I suggest focusing on Light and Chaos due to regeneration and protection. And then you faster the elements or faster nature. Faster nature will extend boons if you double click it, or faster the elements will grant swiftness. You can also use faster darkness if you want, if your other boon provider isn't providing fury. Cleansing, you got staff 4 as mentioned before, and you can use an inventory bubble for more. Purifying essence and energy expulsion. CC, you got energy expulsion, chaotic release, and surge and miss. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments. But that is it for the video. I hope you all have a great day and have fun out there. Be safe.